What you're looking at is the Fraser River in British Columbia. It's at least 500 miles long, and it's our version of the Mississippi River, I guess. It runs down the center of the province, and here it's maybe 3 miles from the ocean. It empties out into the ocean. And what I want to talk about this morning is stopping the war with the power of the memory of water. Water is one atom of oxygen and 2 atoms of hydrogen. And this forms a triangle. And in the triangle is a space, and in that space is where the memory of everything that the water has ever been through is kept. The memory's not in the oxygen, it's not in the hydrogen, it's in the geometry of the molecule of water. And this theory is being resisted by the culture that's in power, because this is a new technology that will be as big as the discovery of fire or electricity. Also, it involves something called quantum entanglement, which is if for some reason any molecules are connected through experience, no matter how far apart they are, if you do something to one, the other one is affected as well. And they are doing experiments with taking water and diluting it down till there's not even 1 part in a billion of something that you put in there, and then taking an electromagnetic reading of the water, digitizing that, and sending it to another computer 1,500 miles away, which is connected to pure water. And the effects you read in your first batch of water appear in the second batch of water 1,500 miles away. And extrapolating out maybe 1,500 light years away. They've done this with moving DNA will actually reconstitute itself at the second source. This is close to teleportation. So in the memory of water is its entire history on planet Earth at a minimum. So the water is the oceans of the earth. All that rain that appears, that creates these rivers, comes from the ocean, gets evaporated out, moved by the air and dropped on the land, and it runs downhill joyfully and gleefully. And water, if it gets trapped, will just keep adding more of it to itself until it gets up to the rim of whatever it is, and then a little rivulet will appear and the water will run out. Not shying away from the time it takes to do that, or the work. So the water remembers everything that's ever happened to it, every rainfall that's been in, every rain barrel, every pot of tea that's been boiled, every cup of tea that's been drunk by a human being and then passed out back into the environment. And it remembers the vibrations of the human beings it's been through. A human being is 57 liters of water. We are 80% water. And this is part of the telepathy of human beings. This water is connected to all the other water in the universe, actually. So what I'm proposing is that we use the water in the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea and do a mental exercise where we ask it to remember the vibrations of all the people that it's been a part of who wanted peace, to collectively point that at the causes of the war. And not only now, but all the 7,000 generations before now, where water was flowing through human beings. And in every generation there are the families who work hard to bring up and safeguard their children without war, without being oppressed, without being robbed. To include the memory of all those people and their wishes for peace. And for that water that sits next to the war to rise up at our behest, to affect the water of those who are causing the war. This war is not caused by cats and dogs and cows and chickens and sparrows. It's caused by human beings and probably psychopathic human beings. Now, this information has just come to me in the last 48 hours, and I believe that this was how Jesus was able to heal people, is he was able to project his DNA from his water into the water of the afflicted person and straighten everything out. Also, no matter how much they dilute this stuff to where this is done with the absolute latest and finest machines by Nobel Prize winners working in a group, diluting it down to where, well, if there was 1 part per billion, it would show. They still get these effects. So it's in the water. There's not even one atom in the samples they're using. And this would mean that the water that Jesus turned into wine is still existent on the earth and has a memory of that. This is similar to energy can't be created or destroyed, it just changes form. Well, the water can't be destroyed. The memory of the water that's in the water can't be destroyed. So I'm going to say, as a mental exercise, if you're interested in peace in Europe, to use the power of the memory of water to bring the return of all the powerful wishes for peace from the last 70 million years. And have that water, the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, radiate this wish, our wishes, those wishes, into the pick a disparaging term, to the psychopaths who are causing this war. Secondly, there's another method that can be used, which is, you imagine a 5-pointed star above the area that you want to influence, and this can be at any height. It can be in the atmosphere, or it can be above the atmosphere, or it can be an actual star a light year away or more. And from that star, you imagine a red and green light, like little laser lights coming down and going into the earth. And if you do this, a cyclone-like whirlwind will start to happen in the mental arena, and you don't need to worry about what direction it spins, because it will pick, it just automatically sets itself up in the right direction, probably based on the spin of the earth and the movement of the earth around the sun, like a dust devil or whirlwind. And what you put in there is that you wish this whirlwind to clean the area that you put under it of evil and stupidity. And this can be any size. I mean, we could put this right now over the part of Europe where the war is, and wish that the evil would be sanded away by this whirlwind. And there are other people doing this. There are other stars, and you can imagine your star connected to other stars and other whirlwinds, and you'll get more power that way. And if this video went viral, and or if I had a group I was connected to of a few 100,000 or 1,000,000 people, we could stop the war with these technologies. And for Mr. Putin, imagine how embarrassing it would be for the Americans if he sued for peace. They would have to take all of that armament and all that hullabaloo back out of Ukraine, and be really embarrassing for them. So I recommend doing that, and there's got to be a lot of BS involved with the oil and the grain, and there's even uranium mines in Ukraine. The peace talks should be wide open and televised worldwide and translated so that we, the people, hear what the BS is. Not 17 people in a room talking in foreign languages. In a way, this is just business. There's billions involved in natural gas and oil sales, and billions involved in grain sales. And it's been about 100 years since the last big wars, and I think it's a little too late for people to behave in the manner we have been for the last 5,000 years, where if you want something in the next country, you just go steal it, kill people and steal it. We will find out from the crash that's coming, the integrated crash, because everything was so delicately balanced with worldwide shipping of everything. No one expected it to fall apart like the house of cards or a stack of glasses at a wedding, all piled up. Somebody whacks it with a cane and the whole thing falls down. So if there is a nuclear exchange, that will hide the business crime and stupidity that's going on. But it seems like this is a time in the history of human beings where we ain't going to study war no more. So a peace conference would look like, Putin's saying there are Russian-speaking people there. We just want to integrate them back into Russia. And that's what Hitler said about people around Germany. There are German-speaking people there, and we just want to integrate them back into the Germanic nation. A noble goal, supposedly, but Russia's landlocked. They always have been. And that whole northern coast is the Arctic, and it's frozen, and it's a long way from anywhere. The shipping cost to move goods is quite high. So they have always wanted to have Crimea, so they have a pipeline down to the sea for all Russian gas, oil, and other products. And Turkey has, for 5,000 years, and that's as far back as my records go, have held the Bosphorus Straits and charged a tax for going through there, which is water, which is in a way kind of a crime. Somebody's got a boatload of grain and he's taking it to Italy, and they say, well, you have to pay a tax to go past us in the waterway. This it seems it would be more humane to pay a tax on the volume of oil and gas that you're running through somebody's country in a pipeline than to kill millions of people and upset the world so you can save that money, because the oil was put in the ground by higher forces. You didn't make it. And oil in the Middle East, for example, they have nothing there but sand, so higher forces put the oil there. So if you discover it, you can sell it. And in a newer version of the world, that money should be used to enrich the life of the people in the country, and not that the leader of the country has 350 Ferraris in his garage. Leading to the unused force in our world is ethics. We don't have ethics as a part of what we teach children. And we're sitting in the midst of it's unethical, but it's not illegal, so we're doing it. Well, this channel is fairly new. It's a month old or something. As very few people are looking at my videos. But if you do hear this, please send it out to your subscribers or your contacts list. In that the people who are forward looking into a peaceful world might have a tool that they can use. Because this is a molecular tool using the memory that's contained in mega billions of tons of water against a little pile of uranium set to be free again and just radiate back out into the universe. But what kills somebody with radiation is the little particles that zoom out, poke a hole in a cell as it passes through. And if more holes are poked than the cell can repair, the cell dies. Also can knock some of the pieces of DNA off, and you might get birth defects. So that's it for now. This is I'm going to put some links below this video to the people who discuss the memory of water, and quantum entanglement. If you want proof. I found in my life, when anything is a little off the beaten path, that people who ask for proof don't really want proof. They ask for proof because they think there isn't any. They're trying to stop the conversation. But when the truth is provided, they don't change their mind. They change their focus. So this concept is being published in scientific papers in the most prestigious medical magazines. And the people publishing it are Nobel Prize winners who are working in a group, so they're not stupid. They're not misguided. They're the best people on the planet. And they do these experiments thousands of times. And they write a paper saying, this is what we're finding. And they're being resisted on all levels. And as they're being resisted because there's money involved. Some people will lose money if this stuff becomes an existent technology. So just as the atomic bomb was used to stop World War II, although I heard the real reason that the Japanese Emperor surrendered was, on top of that, the Russians started attacking the northern islands and starting to come down. So he said, that's it, it's just too much. We used the power of the memory of water to stop this war. This is another molecular technology.